all these rejections from the middle Bollinger Band.
Resistance we're going to need.
If you actually see here, we get a
And we'll look for a
hard
healthy
double
higher
I
low.
would not
have
be
the
convinced
pullback
to enter a
across
long
the
trade.
Hello, crypto friends, checking in on the names that we've been following the last couple of days, and we all got bear breaks all around the house as the bulls held the support level overnight but could not hold it this morning. So we have clearly rejected from the exponential resistance at this point, and we have a lack of support nearby. The only daily support that we're looking at on Bitcoin is down at our low, 3,457 on Coinbase, and that's really the only clear support. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, we can see that we had our tightening range. The bear break was a very clear signal. We saw the must hold level from last night, a weak bounce attempt, a bear flag. Look what we touched that 4-hour exponential resistance and dumped down to lower lows. The clear bear break was 39.03, and you can act as a bear or as a bull exiting a position on that level as opposed to this level, which is $34 lower, assuming that they're close enough. If we're going to break one, we're very likely going to break the other. So I stopped out of my entire position at this point. I now am back to all cash in the cryptocurrency space and patiently waiting. We have a clear 4-hour lower high pattern. 41.85 was a lower high. 40.18 was a lower high. We have a bounce attempt right now, but because the bears have control, we're right back to watching exponential resistance levels. Look at the hourly chart, reject the bear flag last night, dump down. We're watching the exponential resistance again on this bounce. Again, the hourly and 4-hour 12-period exponential resistance is going to be our guide from here on out. And the two scenarios are the bulls can hold 34.56 and see a clear bull break of 44.14, our top, to change the daily trend, or we're going to potentially see lower lows. The bears are extremely comfortable, and we are looking at the bulls unable to prove much. The shorts are hitting higher highs now. Shorts are making their way towards all-time highs, which is certainly worth watching. Whenever shorts get extremely high, we usually do see a pretty solid bounce. Looking back at April, shorts were extremely high, and then September, shorts were extremely high. And if we mark those up and see where we stood on the daily time frame for Bitcoin at that point, this is our April bounce when the shorts were extremely high, and then we saw September and didn't really get a whole lot of follow through on September, more sideways trading where the shorts were covering. But worth noting that we usually don't see a lot of downside when the shorts are that high. So again, something I'm keeping an eye out for is a quick shift in momentum that could keep, or I should say could trap some of these shorts. But at this point, I'm just patiently back in all cash and watching for a daily trend change, because on this daily chart, the exponential resistances keep dropping down, and any little bounce that we look to, we're going to have to battle those levels, which are now currently about 5%, a little bit less than that, maybe 4% above where we currently stand on this daily chart. So bears back in control, and shorts entering positions on that 4-hour bear break are pretty comfortable at this point, potentially even with break-even stop levels. Ethereum, so everybody else is going to be quick analysis because everybody's following through. Ethereum broke bearish. If we zoom into the 4-hour time frame, which was most clear on all of these names yesterday, the clear bear break, again, it occurred right here at 110.50 and 109.24. We dropped down to 104.74. So again, a nice solid 5% gain for the bears on any bounce. Exponential hourly resistance will be on watch, which rejected the bounce from last night. And the 4-hour exponential resistance will be on watch as well. People, whenever they ask me in short-term setups, are you bullish or bearish? It's easy to be bearish in the longer-term setup because we're in a downtrend. But in terms of the short term, the two questions I ask myself is, are the exponential hourly moving averages support? Are the 4-hour exponential moving averages support? If the answer is yes, yes, then we're short-term bullish. If it's no, no, then we're short-term bearish. And if it's a mix, then it's a little bit less clear and more uncertainty. Checking in on Litecoin. Litecoin daily bear break, but again, more space for the bulls to work with. So we look at the 4-hour time frame. We're going to watch the exponential resistance there. The hourly exponential resistance rejected the bounce attempt last night. Same story as everybody else. And again, less likely to break 2637. Let's say this. We would be more likely for Bitcoin and Ethereum to break their support levels before Litecoin because of the percentage space that the bulls still have to work with. We can drop another 10%. And actually, it's really another 13% or so before we get to that support level. And looking at where Bitcoin stands, we are currently about 5%. A little bit more than that. That's wrong math. We are currently about 10% from that support level. So it's fairly comparable, but the bulls do have a little bit more space to work with on Litecoin. XRP, bear break as well. Support is down at 346, and we drop down to 347. So this support level is still holding on XRP. One difference between it and the other names is there were a couple support levels nearby on the 4-hour time frame, which are still holding at this point. After that, 329 is the lowest price. Exponential resistance on the 4-hour time frame rejected the price, and the hourly did as well. Everybody lining up in the same setup in that regard. Daily time frame for XLM bear break, 4-hour exponential resistance to be watching on bounce attempts, and the hourly rejected the price on the bounce attempt. Looks like this exchange here does not have good liquidity, and that is Bitfinex. So Bitfinex hourly, not a lot of good liquidity for XLM USD. Certainly worth making note of, but it's in the same standpoint as everybody else. So clear daily bear breaks. The only support nearby is our low from the dumps. The bulls could hold this support level, but we have the daily exponential resistances to be watching. On any short-term bounces, it's the hourly and the 4-hour exponential resistances to be watching. And it's nice and clear using those time frames, and the correlations are so strong between all of these major names that everybody's doing the same thing at this point with regard to those setup levels. So that's where we stand. Bears comfortable, and we are heading down towards that support. Step number 1 would be a 4-hour trend change that would have me looking at a continued tightening daily range. But even if you change that 4-hour trend, we're just going to be looking right back at the daily exponential resistance, the 12 period, that's just going to continue to drop day after day. So, do good things. I want to talk about our Do Good Things charity here, and it's registered in Canada. So we've sold at this point. We've had maybe 60, 65 orders for clothing. We appreciate that. We've gotten some good, cool pics of people wearing their stuff, wearing their gear, hanging out with friends and family, traveling, and we look forward to more of that. But just want to, again, post that we are taking every dollar profit, which is not very high. Obviously, profit margin on clothing lines like this are not going to make us big bucks. But at this point, we've raised a few $100, maybe $200-$300. And the chart guys, we just contributed a donation as well. And we donated through this Bitcoin address. And then as soon as we make that donation, we convert it to cash. So at this point, we added maybe a couple 100% more than we have raised with clothing. So bottom line is, if you want to support the Do Good Things Fund, which we will be voting on sometime middle of 2019 to see what we're going to do with the funds raised up to that point. We're looking to have a few $1,000s. Perhaps in 2019, I'll have some days where I'll say, whatever profit I make trading stocks this day, I'm going to donate all of that to the Do Good Things Foundation. But bottom line is, any donations, or if you want to support us by wearing our gear, it's appreciated. We're going to put it towards a good cause eventually, and I look forward to determining what that good cause is going to be with all of you. So I don't have any video here at the end of the day. I'm dripping sweat, sacrificed, put some clothes on. The AC broke. It's 88 degrees or 31.5 degrees Celsius, and I'm sweating. But I don't have time. Canadian MJ is going crazy, so I don't have time to do a little video here at the end of the day. Your homework is to go look out the window and watch an animal or a plant and observe it for 10 whole minutes. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. And we're going to be watching these supports this week. Could get a potential key support test, and we're going to be watching those shorts, because if those shorts climb to all-time highs on another leg down, I'm going to be watching for any kind of potential indication of a short squeeze. Again, there's been no indication of a short squeeze at any point on this drop, but it is something that I'm aware of the higher the shorts get. Thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow.